I wanted to do a quick update while I have the boat out here. I was going to do boat work yesterday, felt kind of overwhelmed with all the projects and decided to just clean up and get this thing out. I washed it all off, washed the inside, which I've done before, but there's just so much fiberglass dust everywhere. It's kind of a pain. Whenever I had to, if I touched anything, there'd be a cloud of fiberglass. So yeah, I just opted to clean up, rolled it out here, cleaned up the workspace over by the carport that I was using, hosed everything down, tried to reduce the dust. But I'm gonna go over a couple things. I've spent a lot of time on the transom here, doing the hold of deck joint back here. There's cracking all along this joint, and that's been fiberglassed over. You can see in another video. This was a hole through the transom that someone else had filled with Bondo, and it turns out there's been a lot of Bondo use on this. Bondo is not for use on boats. I know they do make another product, I think Bondo Glass or something like that, that's supposedly waterproof. But the one that came with the boat is just regular old automotive Bondo, and it absolutely absorbs moisture. So not safe for boats. But anyway, so I had ground that out, did a repair here, sanded it, faired over it. I mixed too much fairing compound, so I just kind of rubbed the excess on here. But I need to fair this entire joint here. It's a red shoulder hawk flying over. Okay, so yeah, the transom project, which has taken a lot of time. Move the coffee, move the ladder over here. Actually, while I'm on the outside, I'll look at a couple other things. Oh look, Bondo. This is another repair I want to look at. It's taken some impact damage. Just hosing it off, the paint was peeling back, but you can kind of see a lot of parallel lines in here. And turn my display keeps turning off. More parallel lines here, but I want to sand into this and see what's going on. And it looks like there's some filler here. It looks like maybe some type of fairing filler. So we'll see what's under there. If that needs to be addressed. Let's do a quick walk around the outside of the boat here. Oh yeah, on the bow, all the rubber rail is going to come off, but we see someone had just put screws in through here, and just look at that. Look at this screw right here. Open all that up. There's another screw over here. This is gonna need some work. The rubber reel is gonna be a project in itself. I think it's gonna take a lot of time, but I've decided that I need to take all of this off. So the outer rubber reel is right down there, the white one. This, off the top of my head, it's the inner rubber rail, but I think it's actually called an inner rib, maybe. I'll have to look that up anyway. But all this is gonna come off, and we'll inspect underneath, because there are, I don't know if it's this side, it might be the other side, where it's loose, and the flange is, yeah, it's over here. It's hard to tell, but there's some crushing of the flange here. There's some separation behind that one. There's a seal up around the chain plates. I don't know what I'm going to use here. It may be 4200. 3M 4200. I'll have to double check that. But I think something I need to check. I think I do need to leave space for the flexing, that I shouldn't structurally fill it in so it can't flex, but I'll get some opinions on that because I'm not sure. These are for the jib. And what were these called? I looked it up, now I forgot. But this slides back and forth, and the jib sheet comes in through here, I believe. If my term is all right. But this is normally mounted on the cabin top, so I need to get some opinions if that needs to go back there, or people think it's cool right here. I'm opting to put it back in its original configuration. Let's see what else. Let's go underneath real quick. What are you guys doing? Let's see under here. Yes. So all this fairing material here, that pinkish red stuff, I laid that over, or a structure repair I did where there was a hole through the hull that someone attempted to repair in the past, and it was pretty shoddy, so I ground it out. You know, tapered it to the ratio 12:1. There are 3 plies of fiberglass on either side. Actually, this side I think I did 4. But there's quite a bit of fiberglass there. I sanded it down to shape and faired it. And then I discovered a Bondo filled section here that actually, when I started sanding the Bondo, water started coming out. So this, we'll do the layup here. I'm gonna give that some time to dry out, like a couple weeks. But I have cleaned it out, and that'll be taken care of. So let's jump up on the boat here. Let me move the ladder. Okay, so now we're on the boat. Let's see, we'll go back and take a look at that whole deck joint of the transom. And actually, I like how this is gonna turn out. I think this is gonna be really nice when I'm done with it back here. These holes are gonna get filled. That was for a VHF antenna that was mounted through. Access to the upper gudgeon. We'll put another access like that on there. And actually, this one is slightly off center, and it bothers the hell out of me. But I put this one in line with that. But it's hard to tell, but it's not quite center. It's a little bit to the right. If down the road it really bothers me, I'll take that out, move them both over, and patch it. But it's kind of necessary, right? Okay. The line for the center board needs to be replaced. Oh, both the wire line, which is all frayed. You cut yourself on that, and then this line here. And all this wood. This is actually all reusable. I'm just gonna sand it down. Maybe bleach it. I think you can use oxalic acid for bleaching wood, I heard. I have some of that, so. But anyway, they'll be sanded and varnished. Or stained. Varnished or stained, one of the two. And then this is the repair down here. Is this on? Yep. On the cabin sole. You can see I've laid up a lot of fiberglass down here. There's multiple layers at the interface between the centerboard trunk and the sole itself, as well as along the front half of the ballast down there. Those are lead ballasts on the side of the centerboard trunk. I've said it before, but these old Mariners are prone to cracking down at this interface here. Because the centerboard itself mounts through here. I just need to drill that out and lay fiberglass over it. And it's a lot of force, and it causes flexing, and over time it causes cracking. So this has all been reinforced. And you can see here the lighter area. That was the layup of the hole that you saw on the bottom. It's hard to tell through here, but there's a layer here, and it tapers out with each ply. And then let's see, aside from that, let's get in here. It is a small cabin, just for camping. Even then, it's a little cramped, but it should be a fun boat to learn on here. I need to take care cosmetically. As you can see, it needs some paint. Probably just gonna do some light sanding. I don't know if I'll fair it at all. Might just sand it and paint it. If I do fair, it'll be kind of like a rush, quick fairing. I'm not going to take time to make it perfect, I don't think. And then we have the sides of the hole here. There was, what is it called? Oh, vinyl. The vinyl covering was all moldy, so I pulled all that out. There's still some sort of contact cement, some sort of adhesive that needs to come off. I've seen some people paint over it. You can get a paint that will adhere to this, but I guess the preferred thing would be to pull this off and expose fiberglass, because it's kind of rubbery. Doesn't seem like it would be good for painting over, but so anyway, that does need to come off, and we'll paint over the walls here, and that's pretty much it, I think. Other things that need to be taken care of, the compression post that supports some of the load of the mast goes down to the bottom of the hole. Looks like someone's attempted to repair here. That should probably be addressed. As you can see, it seems a little soft. So we'll take a look at that at some point. The cockpit drains, I'm gonna oversize. These are 1/2 inch. I'm gonna oversize. I think I'm gonna go to 3/4. Some people will opt to go to 1 inch. I don't think I'm gonna do 1 inch. I think I'm gonna stick with 3/4. Just oversize them a little bit. And then all this tubing will be replaced. I would like to eliminate these two 90s, which look pretty optimal for trapping debris. And then we'll replace the through-hole fittings underneath. I don't know if you can see in this one, but there's a bunch of sealant around that. It looks like someone just dumped resin like around the area to try to seal it. Like literally someone just dumped resin and it flowed back. They did the same thing over here. See, there's silicone all around it. So these have definitely been an issue for leaking. These will come out and be replaced for sure, because that is an actual hole through the boat that, if compromised, would be really unfortunate. You can carry plugs for that, so in an emergency it can be plugged on the go. But we definitely want to take care of that, make it nice and strong. What else? A lot of this wiring. I mean, anything electrical is far away. I'm not even worried about that right now. I don't know if there's wood up under here. I wonder if there's wood behind here. Because I don't know if that's just moldy fiberglass right there or if it's rotting wood. We'll see, you might have to look at that. And man, this guy drilled so many holes in this boat. It's insane. It's really bothersome. There's better ways to go about doing this than just drilling a hole every time you want to mount something. No offense to anyone that likes to drill, because there's somebody on YouTube that constantly drills holes in his boat. He's actually a pretty competent sailor and has some interesting projects going on all the time, but the less holes, the better in general. So a lot of the hardware's gonna come out and everything's gonna be resealed. They think it's just a little boat. Oh, it just, it won't take too much time to get this thing going, but every little project takes so much time. I've already been rambling for 13 minutes. So, and we can see at the hold deck joint there, he's filled. I say he, like I know who I'm talking about. I don't know, one of the previous owners. I'm sure it's had many owners in the past. But somebody just filled in this joint here with some type of sealant. So it's definitely been a leak issue. And actually, I think that's the side where the flange I showed you was crushed, where I pulled back the inner rubber rail, and it just kind of pulls right off. And I noticed some separation and cracking there. And I think that's that right there. I think it was right behind the chain plate, just after the chain plate. It's unpleasant working down there, but I've had to crawl back there and back there, but at least there's a hatch down that way. And I think that's about it for now. The interior, haven't even thought about it. I think that's so far away. This used to be a sink. There used to be a little faucet here that you could and there's a water tank under here, fill it with water. I'd like to get that going again, and maybe have like a removable bowl here, like a dog bowl kind of thing, so you can just take it out and dump it over the boat, or I guess even in the cockpit if it wasn't gross. And it would just drain out of the boat. But yeah, I'd like to have a sink in here, a little faucet, a little hand pump or foot pump or something. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really even thought about the interior, because excuse me, because so much needs to be done. I'm sure this is all corroded on the inside. We'll see what's salvageable. If the wiring's not too corroded, we'll just reuse what we can. But I'm ready to replace wiring as needed for sure. I'm sure that's expired probably decades ago. Oh, something else is taken care of. So the let me get the camera. The screen keeps turning off here. So the cockpit sole is supported right here. So underneath here, I'll show you. We have a support member for the cockpit sole. It'll all rest on there. And you can see that over time, this won't sort of tell the camera probably other than the cracking, that it sagged a little bit and it started to crack here. The rest of this is actually, the texture down here is in good shape. So for the most part, I'm not gonna sand this. I wanna leave as much of this as I can. So I'm gonna end up probably taping off. We'll have to go further back here, some cracking here. So I'm gonna tape off this area, sand down the cracking, and get that faired. See if it needs any reinforcement, but I think this is just a gel coat, but maybe I'll lay up some fiberglass there if I get down into it. So there will be a smooth spot, but there's a texture on the rest of this for grip. Yeah, it looks original, so I'd like to keep that. It looks like it's in good shape. Because most of the texture on the boat is kind of ruined. I'm gonna have to sand everything down, and it's gonna take it away. So, okay, I have to go to work in a few. I would like to get something done. I think I'm gonna take some time here and carefully remove the rub rail. I have to take these nails out. It was originally stapled, and I could see the holes from the staples in the past. So someone's taken this off before, and now there's some type of nail going through it. So anyway, I'm gonna take some time, take that rub rail off, and we'll get the that flange of the whole deck joint nice and cleaned up and examined, and that project will take numerous hours. So I think I'm going to do that before I finish this up, so I can kind of come through and shape the joint all around, and then maybe try to start fairing almost all at once. I don't know, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. I'm a little ADD, but this is mostly done here. I need to get the boat out of the sun, because I don't know how long it takes, but this is just the bare fiberglass and epoxy. It is not UV resistant, so I'm going to move it to the shade here real quick, and we'll get started. Gas, do a little selfie. Oh shit. There we go. Alright, back to work. Project Seahorse.